Hi all. So today we are going to discuss once again one of the very important aspect of life to be a better professional, leadership and different things which is directly related to your day-to-day life. Now there are certain things or certain principle which is very widely used in management, but on the other hand that's not really been discussed a lot. We do not really talk about it much, and definitely on the other hand we don't really practice it in our day-to-day life, in our personal life, not even in our professional life. Therefore, sometime it's imperative to understand what exactly is very important to be a much better professional, to be a much better leader, to be a much better individual, to be successful in our life. Now, here in this particular session, we are going to discuss about a particular principle which is known as 80s to 20 principle. Mostly or most widely, it is being used for time management workshops and different time management exercises. But on the other hand, if we expand and if we try to explain the same thing in our day-to-day life as well, in our success of our life, definitely it will give a much better result. And that's the reason today we are going to discuss about it in detail, not only covering the time management particular, but also we will expand the discussion in other sphere of our life. Now, we will primarily talk about nine big ideas who has given this particular principle of 80s to 20. The famous person is Richard Koch. So we are going to talk about those big nine ideas. The first of that, minority of inputs leads to a majority of outputs. In our life, most of the time what happens, we really do not need everything in our life. We have a lot, but we really do not use everything in our life. An example, you may have 100 or maybe 200 of clothes in your wardrobe, but do you really think that you use all of them together or very often? Not really. Not even that, but also most of the time you only like or you think that couple of clothes among those 100 or 200 of your list would be very much suitable for you. You really look nice whenever you are wearing those particular clothes, not the rest of that. So that means only few of them are very much useful for you. Now, consider again another example. You have 100 or 200, sometimes 1000 of contact list in your phone book, but ultimately you call only 5 to 10% of them, maybe 2 to 3% very frequently. You're very closed one or professionally whom you need to connect on a day-to-day basis. And apart from that, you also have another set of contact who are very much connected with you and you really do want to speak with them. So again, in your contact list as well, you do not really need all the contact list on a day-to-day basis. Most of them are actually not useful for you. Now, if we go to the next one, we another important aspect we will talk about here, the minority of causes create a majority of effects. What do I mean? A very small effort, a very small initiative actually helps us to achieve a much better result. Just try to think about your own career. When you started your career, you have done a lot of things. Studied from your school days, class 1 to 10, 12, college, post graduation, lot of things, lot of subjects, areas you have learned. But ultimately, where you are, only very few skills you are actually using. Only few skills actually is helping you to earn your money, to be successful in your profession. On the other hand, whenever you try to invest in a financial transaction, in a portfolio, only one or couple of decisions actually helps you to gain a much better return. Therefore, only few of the things of your life actually useful for you to give a much better result. Now, again, a minority of your effort actually leads to a majority of the result. So that's for example, think everything you have accomplished today as a professional, as an individual, but only few decisions, few things that you have done correctly, few things where you have actually done something in different way has provided you the opportunity to become a much better person, to be successful. Therefore, again, only your minor effort actually has led to a much better result. Similarly, when you consider working with the same principle, when you are getting a much better result on the value when you are doing something differently. Therefore, most of the time in our life, when we achieve something, when we do something new, the small or couple of decisions, couple of activity actually help us to gain much better result or most of the result of our life. Now, therefore, here the 80 to 20 principle come. It can be known by different names. It can be known as Pareto's laws, Zhang laws, whatever it is. But ultimately, the primary thing is important. Only critical few things are important in your life. We will talk about the critical few things, which is actually important to be a successful person in your life. But let us understand at first, everything is not important in our life. You can't do everything in your life. You can't focus on everything in your life. Therefore, the focus has to be very much specific. You can't do everything. You can't focus on everything. Concentrate on those few things. Try to fight with those areas. Try to improve yourself on those areas. Definitely the success will come and it will definitely give you a much better result. Now, if we talk about the critical few, now here primarily your 20% of your effort actually gives you 80% of the result. So, say for example, if you really want to improve effectiveness in anything, focus only what matters most or what you actually want to do. So, if you are conducting a business, working on a personal project, trying to get a better or competitive position, finding a romantic partner, whatever it is, but actually a 20% of your effort actually gives you 80% of the result. If you are intentionally set out to study what matters most, you will get a much better result. So therefore, again, the question is, don't concentrate on everything, don't do everything. Only give 20% of your effort can produce 80% of your result. Therefore, think about it. If you give 100% your effort on those specific areas which actually can give you the value of your life, most important result of your life, what can be the consequences, how much success you can gain if you are staying focused and giving your full effort on those focus area. Now, most of us, what we do is actually has very low value. Therefore, it eliminates our results. So say for example, whatever is not required, anyway if you are doing it, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, it is not going to give you any result at all. So most of the time in our life, we try to concentrate on the to-do list. I need to do number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 because these things are important. Yes, in few cases, definitely if we really want to survive and if you want to be a social animal, you need to do a lot of things which may not be required, but to be a part of the society, to be a part of your family, to be a part of your organization, you need to do those things. But on the other hand, your heart and soul, your primary effort has to be on your focused area. Because if you concentrate too much on your to-do list, at the end of the day, you will only give you poor result. You will get only better result on your concentrated focus areas. Now in life, focus on the activity which gives you most satisfaction. Say for example, if something, reading a book, maybe watching a movie, gives you immense amount of satisfaction, spending time with your family, reading something, writing something, it gives you immense pleasure. You are a creative person, you want to paint, you want to do something new, that gives you satisfaction. Try to do that. Don't try to do everything, and don't try to be carried away by the social media, by what others are saying to you. Don't do that. You really need to understand what exactly you want as a person, what gives you most satisfaction, and try to do that. It cannot be more than 2 3 in your list. It cannot be 10 15 things together. Most of the time what happen, we do things which actually not important for us, not even gives us any kind of satisfaction. We are doing it because others are also doing it. We do it because everyone else in the society is doing it. We do it because we really want to post the same thing in your Facebook. You really want to show everyone else that yes, I am also doing it as well. Therefore, at the end of the day, when you evaluate your activity, it will gives you no satisfaction at all. Therefore, what you need to do, you need to do what you want, what gives you satisfaction. It can be as simple as sleeping, as simple as doing something very small, maybe a painting, maybe watching a nice movie, fine. But don't do everything what others are doing. Because if you really want to be successful, you really need to do what you like, not others are doing as well, what others are telling you to do. Now, in life also, focus on the activity that produce majority of life satisfaction. There is a concept, or it is widely said, that if you possess something but you do something, always doing something always gives you a much better satisfaction, enjoyment, entertainment, rather than possessing something. Say for example, possessing a BMW car is can be your proud factor. You can show it to everyone. Yes, I own a BMW car. I have something which is commendable, different from others. I am successful. But on the other hand, if you go for a Europe tour, 1 month, 2 months Europe tour with your friend, with your family, that would be there in your mind for your lifelong, which will give you a much better satisfaction. So activities are much important rather than only winning something. Say for example, buying a mobile phone, with a very good configuration, it can gives you satisfaction only for a couple of days, but it is not going to give you a very good memory when you will remember what are the different good times you have spent in your life. Definitely buying a mobile phone is not one of that. But if you spend the same amount of money by going a good dine out with your family, that definitely going to stay in your memory. And definitely at the end of the day, at your old age, when you will try to remember the good memories, golden memories of your life, definitely that would be one of those. Therefore, it's very important to understand which activity actually is useful and gives you majority of satisfaction in your life. Now, another point, a minority of your decision will produce majority of your results. Choice of work, debts, investments, relationships. Therefore, there are very few specific decisions related to like borrowing a money, going for a contractual obligation, even transition of a relationship is very important and which should be well thought before taking a decision. All these decisions actually going to stay there for your lifelong. You cannot really discard that. The effect would be there for very long period of time and will affect a lot of your will affect a lot in your life. Therefore, you should be very careful whenever you are taking a decision like this. Like say for example, whenever you want to do something very much, which is going to be a lifelong decision, you cannot really reverse that. It's a very fundamental. Like say for example, buying a house, going for a relationship, or investing money, borrowing money, you cannot really reverse just like that. So it's very important, you need to take the decision with the proper consideration, and definitely that will give you the desired amount of result. Now, a minority of your decision will actually produce the majority of your result. Choice of work, debt, investment. Again, I will continue with one example. Say for example, you want to buy a house. Very important, everyone wants to buy a house. But on the other hand, whenever you are buying a house, you need to invest a lot of money. You need to spend a lot of time. You cannot really change it in one day. If you are buying a wrong house by doing some wrong investment, it's going to stay with you. Therefore, it's extremely important to take a decision properly, better than regretting it in future. Now, more effort does not equal to more reward. One thing we must understand, it doesn't matter how much effort we are producing. No one will remember you for your effort. Everyone will remember you for your results. So you can spend 50 years by digging a hole in the Sahara desert. No one is bothered about you. But on the other hand, you can spend that 50 years for the well-being of a humankind. Say for example, spending your time to cure cancer, something like that. We will now also give some example, apart from your day-to-day life, to your professional life as well. Say for example, you have a project where you need to deliver. Obviously you have put a lot of effort, lot of hard work to do to accomplish that. But if you are not able to deliver on time, if the project is not giving desired result, it doesn't matter how much effort you have put in. No one will bothered about it. Your appraisal, your evaluation is not dependent on your effort. It's only dependent on your result. KRA's KPIs are result oriented. Performance is result oriented. Everything in this world is result oriented. So you cannot say that I will only concentrate on my effort, not on my result. Yes, all your effort will not produce result, but on the other hand, we should be very careful that we should put effectiveness or our effort in such a way that result would be maximized. Most of the time you will heard this thing, I have put in my 100% of effort but my return is only 10%, 20%. Why is that? Because you actually have not selected where you should put your effort. You are doing maybe everything. Maybe you are doing something which is not really very important for you, not really gives you satisfaction, not important to get success in your life. Therefore, at first you need to understand where you should put your effort, how to put that effort, and which effort will gives you maximum of results. And that's how we actually maximize our effort into maximum results. Now, at the end of this discussion, definitely one thing is for sure. We cannot do everything in our life. Life is not a to-do list. Yes, you will do a lot of things for your satisfaction, to be a social animal, to be a part of your family and organization. On the other hand, if you talk about result, focus of your life, that has to be only very few. Maybe 2 to 5 points would be there in your life where you should focus, where you should concentrate. If you do that, no one will stop you to get maximum amount of result. The only problem is, in our life our expectation is too much. We really want to do a lot of things, by influenced by others, influenced by my family, influenced by my friends, influenced by the social media, influenced by the TV, films, everywhere. But we fail to understand what exactly do we want as an individual, what exactly do we want to do as an individual. If we identify that, you will identify your focus area as well. Start working on it, start putting effort, and definitely the result will come. Therefore, primarily in this session, we have tried to understand how to maximize your effort into result, how to translate your effort into maximum of results. Only 20% of your effort actually can produce 80% of the result. So therefore, rest 80% of the effort produce only 20% of your result. So try to put more effort, which will produce more result, and ultimately your goal would be reached. Yes, again, because of a lot of factor, things can go haywire, but we as an individual must do the thing in the right manner, must understand ourselves, must understand our priorities, and must understand what really do we want to do in our life. That's all for the session of today. We will once again come back with another session of Human and Emotions. We will definitely talk about something related to leadership, personal improvement, self help, or maybe something which will help you to become a much better individual or professional into a day to day life. Thank you. Stay safe, stay healthy.